Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. I wanted to explain to you why I support BLM. Wait, what? What did you say? Well, when I say I support BLM, I support one of the things that BLM is pushing at the moment. And before you fall off your chair, let me just bring it up into the stream and we can then talk about it. Yes, you see, today, BLM groups plan to gather across the country and protest at what they call a kill the bill protest. Now, to start with, I think that's an incredibly offensive terminology to deploy. Kill the bill is not the kind of words you should be using. If that was being used by those on the right side of politics, they would be crucified by the Guardian and other organs of the left. But it's okay when the left do it. It's all fine. They can throw around terms like this without any sense of being censored for it. Okay, the punchline is this. There is a new bill going through the Commons or justice system here in the UK, the Police Crime Sentencing and Crime Bill on its way through Parliament. It's going to be passed, I think. And it does have a lot of things in it, some of which are good, many of which are good, some things aren't good. And where I agree with BLM is I believe people should have the right to peacefully protest. Peacefully protest, though, means exactly that. It doesn't mean that you have the right to, for example, to disrupt London traffic or traffic anywhere. You don't have the right to be annoying to other people. You can have your protest if it's done respectfully and peacefully, and that's fine. I agree with that, and I'm sure you do as well. If you take away the right to protest, essentially you've removed any aspects of being a liberty and freedom. It's as simple as that. But now I want to get into the meat of this because, of course, because it's coming from BLM, it's extremely regressive in terms of what they're saying. So this is, if you read the article here, it talks about protests across more than 40 protests they've got planned for today, 1st of May, 40 protests against the Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Bill. Wow, that's a mouthful. With black activists playing lead roles in the Kill the Bill coalition. So let's scroll down through the nonsense. Let's get to the first bit of it. Well, this is the bit that amused me. Amongst those leading protests have been a number of groups instrumental in organising UK's BLM marches from last summer. Remember those? The violent marches. Recent Kill the Bill protests in London have been led by BLM banners and have been addressed by a number of speakers aligned in the movement, particularly black women. Oh yeah, it's really important that we keep the gender politics in there, isn't there? Then we have someone called Phoenix the Rude Boy. Not quite sure what language that is, but anyway, Phoenix the Rude Boy of BLM, Black Music Movement, who felt motivated to begin a conversation of black activists around the crime bill because persecution he'd faced from police due to his activism. And he goes on to talk about what he talks about, the cycle of racism that he, in his feverish recesses of his mind, typifies the police. Hey, listen, pal, it's the cycle of criminality that needs to be disrupted. And I would support anything that the police do to reduce criminality, to stop people from being victimized from it, not least black people who are unfortunately, for example, in the City of London, at particular risk. But the people that they are particular at risk of are not white people. So Phoenix, the Rude Boy, doesn't really understand some basics. Talking of not understanding basics, let's talk about this lovely lady here, Morvina Esugina Newton. Here she is. She's the founder of United for Black Lives. So these are little spin-off groups. Co-founder of BLM Leads. She's talking about the leading role, get this, the leading role played by black women, given the movement, which has given the movement an intersectional character that makes it exclusive to all groups. So she talks about, let's look at all the groups she's so concerned about. She says, I can see my Roma brother, I can see my Muslim brothers and sisters, see my trans community and say, you matter, I see your pain. I notice she doesn't mention her white brothers and sisters, the white community, the 85% of this country community. Strange that, isn't it? Strange how she's overlooked that. I mean, I wouldn't want to accuse her of being racism by omission, but It's a little bit like that. And then she goes on, the usual kind of grievance mongery. Protesting while black is different. No one really tells a story. Our right to protest comes with a lot of fear. And she's mentioning the EDL and being targeted on the day of the march. And last time I see BLM marches in London, I thought it was the forces of law and order that were being targeted. Anyway, let's move on to another genius here. We've got Emma. Here she is. Here's lovely Emma of All Black Lives. She prefers not to give out her surname. Just call her Emma. That's enough. Although she's been outed as an organizer of BLM protests. But then this is the bit. This is hilarious. Check this bit out. She says, my problem is getting the white people to listen. Wow. Did she just say the white people to listen? Hey, Emma, that's a bit racist. She says, because I'm a creator on TikTok. Wow, she's a creator on TikTok. This is a lady. This is a heavyweight lady. This is a serious thinker. She's a creator on TikTok. I speak to a lot of leftist creators around the world and the black people in America. And I know we're speaking more about this than white leftists in the country. So she's very concerned about the lack of voices coming from the white leftists in the UK. So there you go. There's Emma, lovely Emma. There's lovely Marvina. And we don't have a picture for some reason of Phoenix, that rude boy. We don't know what he looks like. Now, let's move on a little bit. So that is everything I disagree with. I've just talked about, really. The right to protest, by all means, we should it should be sacred. But it also doesn't include the likes of BLM and Extinction Rebellion or anybody else for that matter, utterly disrupting the business of people going about their daily lives. That is absolutely not acceptable because quite frankly, that then is fundamentally accepting anarchy. However, I actually happen to think that this government is quite happy with BLM protests. I think this government is quite supportive of Extinction Rebellion protests because at the end of the day, this government shares many of the same aims of these groups. Remember, Extinction Rebellion are all about destroying sort of our Western democracies. Well, so is this government to a significant degree. And BLM, which is essentially a bunch of Marxist shills with racist overtones, then again, that's not, this government is not that, well, they're certainly scared of them. Let's put it like that there. And so much of the BLM narrative plays into the broader globalist agenda anyway. I mean, had it not been for BLM riots, would the result of the US election potentially have been different? I don't know. But either which way, I do support the right to protest. I also support the police, where they hunt down criminals, where they bring criminals to justice, where they stop criminality, where they save lives by taking robust action, where stop and search is extended and rolled out so we protect and save lives. That's what I think. I wonder what you think. Do let me know in the comment thread below. Do make sure you follow me over on brand new YouTube, where my numbers are building all the time. And I'll catch up with you real soon.